economy. But the reality is, do any of you believe most of the Republican candidates will do what it takes to reverse this trend? There is someone among them who sees that there could be a recovery on the horizon. He's a man whose diagnosis for the economy involves a heavy dose of fiscal conservatism and a prescription of limited government that other Republican candidates are afraid to offer. He held a congressional hearing today, and I hope Fed Chair Ben Bernanke was listening.
For those of us who believe in less government is better than more government, whether it's warfare or welfare, we see that the Federal Reserve has a strong influence in allowing our government to grow.
And allowing our government to grow. Texas Republican Congressman Ron Paul is here. Welcome back to Freedom Watch, Congressman Paul. Do you think Ben Bernanke was listening to you? Or do you think he just wants the government, as he said, to keep spending money that he'll just keep printing for them?
Well, I'm sure he wasn't listening. He was over on another committee testifying that we need more printing press money and lower interest rates. I don't know how much lower. They're negative rates right now. So, no, they're not offering a prescription. I mean, we have too much spending and too much debt, so they're trying to solve the problem with more spending and more debt. So there's not a chance in the world that we can get out of the recession this way, because it's going to take a long time to get rid of the debt and the malinvestment at the rate we're going.
What will it take for members of Congress to understand that the policies of the president and the congressional leaders in both parties who've gone along with him and of Mr. Bernanke is not going to solve the problem of everyday Americans? It's only going to make it worse. You know it. You've been discussing this for years. What will it take for the rest of the people in the government to realize you can't do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result?
Well, I'm not too optimistic that they're going to catch on, because when you think about how long it took us to come out of the Depression of the 1930s, it was a long time. When you think about people learning our lesson in Japan, they've been going up on almost 20 years. We're now, I think we've been in a slump since the year 2000, not just in the last 4 years. And the people here don't want to change because they have been conditioned by Keynesian economics. But where I'm encouraged is that people outside of this place are getting the message. And the answers are well known. It's just that how do you translate this new message that we have of free markets and the Constitution and get the people that are managing the affairs now out of office? And I believe we're going in the right direction, but we still have a long way to go because, you know, the deficit is continuing to expand and the government is expanding and they're still printing the money. So they haven't changed their policy. But I keep plugging away, and we are reaching a lot more people, even previously, but especially in this campaign. We're reaching a lot of people now that know there are answers out there, and they're not that complex. It's just a stronger conviction of and belief in freedom and understanding how the market works.
What are the answers? What would a President Paul do if the Congress were to be of like mind to address our economic recession in the first couple of months of your presidency?
Well, immediately you could bring our troops home and have them spend all their money here at home. That would give us some reprieve. We could change our foreign policy and indicate to the world that we're going to get our budget under control. We could remove taxation on all the money that is held overseas by our corporations and not double tax them. We could remove the interest paid by the Federal Reserve to the banks. The banks won't, invest their money because it's too risky. But the Federal Reserve gives them their money essentially for free, and then they invest it back in the Treasury bill, so they help monetize the debt too, along with the direct monetization of the Federal Reserve. So those are a few things, but sending a signal will be most important. We're going to quit this spending. Right now I'm working on a plan where even in 1 year I want to cut $1 trillion, because this year's budget is the only budget that counts. This tinkering around saying, oh, we're going to cut 5 years, 10 years out on the proposed increases, the American people see through this, and that's why their confidence has not been restored. So they have to have somebody that will stand up and say, this is what we have to do, and we shouldn't suffer for it. Because if I return freedom to the individual and the right to keep what they earn and give them incentives,